Games journalism is a joke, and game journalists are hacks. They have been hacks the last half decade at least, and they will continue to be hacks for far longer until this profession goes the way of the dodo bird. But every now and again, you run across a gem, you run across an article that's so beautiful, so amazing, so full of WTF-ery that you have to just take a moment, a step back, and appreciate the sheer mental degradation that had to go in to reading it. Normally, it's about modern games that are in the limelight so they can get those clicks. But every now and again, it's about a franchise that is beloved by many but hasn't actually been relevant in a few years. A franchise like The Legend of Zelda. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle. And yes, if you haven't seen this, I don't blame you. Why would you have? But we have an illustrious screen rant writer saying, "Dear Nintendo, it is time for Link to die."
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
Yeah, this article, it really made my blood boil, and for the reasons you would think so, because what is it? Nothing but a propaganda piece. So we're going to go through this before we do hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day, and yeah, strap in. This might be a long one. I got lots to say. As much as I love The Legend of Zelda's iconic protagonist Link, I think it's time for him to be killed off.
Shut up, bitch!
At least for one game. Since the series debuted on the Famicom in 1986, it wouldn't come to the NES until 1987, Link has played the starring role in almost every single mainline Zelda game, 2024's excellent Echoes of Wisdom being the lone exception. Getting to play as Zelda felt like a long time coming, and I'm grateful the princess is finally getting her flowers. Now, mind you, I got no issue with being able to play as Zelda. In fact, I've been clamoring for a Zelda game where you play as Zelda for a long time. Echoes of Wisdom is awesome. I would not be opposed to more games where you play as Zelda, so long as they're more like side stories or less minimal impacting games than your Ocarina of Times, your Twilight Princess, or Tears of the Kingdoms, things to that effect, because I like Zelda. She's cool, and Echoes of Wisdom is as well. That said, the series has an identity. Straying too far from said identity, I'm sorry if it isn't Zelda anymore, as in The Legend of Zelda, then why would I want to play it as a fan? And The Legend of Zelda traditionally stars Link, and as much as I love Zelda, I'm also a fan of Link. So yes, most games need to star Link, but no, I ain't opposed to playing more Zelda. Would never call something like that woke or whatever. That said, this dude, of course, takes it to an ideological level. I'm afraid more drastic measures may be necessary to give her the full breadth of spotlight. Nintendo's exceedingly protective of its flagship characters, and it's not hard to understand why. Mario isn't just a popular video game character, he is in the running for the most recognizable fictional character of all time, the face and the image of a massive multimedia franchise, and one that aims to be family-friendly. Zelda frequently treads more mature ground than Super Mario, but aside from some shocking imagery in older games and unnerving subtext, Zelda has also never faced the mortality of its lead characters. There's a whole segment of the Zelda timeline that only exists because Link dies at the hands of Ganondorf. You mean Zelda has never faced the mortality of its lead characters? Shit! Zelda herself gives up her life in sacrifice to revive Midna in the Twilight Princess game, which in my opinion is actually the best Zelda game of all time. But the point is, this is an objectively false statement. Now, maybe it's not as hard-hitting or deep or dark or gritty as you want it to be, but it's just objectively false in lore and canon. The Legend of Zelda has never killed off a leading character in-game. Again, false, they did that with Zelda in Twilight Princess. She gets revived, so it doesn't really matter. Being whooped by a boss and losing all your hearts technically counts as Link dying, but he and Zelda have not canonically met their demise in any game. Bullshit. Link dies in Ocarina of Time, at least in a certain timeline, to get the Fallen Hero timeline. So again, they're wrong. The closest you can get is by virtue of the hilariously convoluted Zelda series timeline. You call it hilariously convoluted? Dude, it's not hard to follow. adult timeline, child timeline, timeline where Link dies, so neither one happened. Like, it's not hard. We mean hilariously convoluted. Are you sure you're a Zelda fan, as you so proclaim to be in your intro? Which one unseen outcome of Ocarina of Time's final fight against Ganon results in Link's death and the subsequent imprisonment of Ganon in the Sacred Realm by the sages. This is a special case, though, and it was seemingly devised retroactively to connect what are essentially self-contained entries in an anthology. Whether it was self-contained or not, whether it was done retroactively or not, doesn't matter. The fact is, it happened, which thus proves your statement wrong. It's also notable that this happens at the end of a game, or in an alternate ending to a game. While it has massive consequences for the Zelda universe, Link's death is never really felt by players, nor is Fallout witnessed. Well, it doesn't need to be. And yes, its Fallout is witnessed. In fact, its Fallout leads us to the 3 games, or possibly more, in the Fallen Hero timeline: Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, and A Link to the Past. So yes, the Fallout is 100% witnessed. If you read the manual to the original Legend of Zelda game, Hyrule is in disarray. It's practically a post-apocalyptic game. So no, you don't know what you're talking about. Ocarina of Time remains a curiously tragic game among its peers. Death looms over the story quite heavily. Link's mother dies prior to the game's events while fleeing the Hyrulean Civil War. The Great Deku Tree succumbs to Ganondorf's curse. A Castletown guard dies in front of Link and unmissable dialogue. Dampe passes while Link is trapped in the Sacred Realm. And the royal family, sans Zelda, is presumably executed as part of Ganondorf's coup. And don't mind you, we also never figure out what happens to the Zora princess gal. We do her. Jabu Jabu, the guardian sage that you interact with the Zora princess gal. So he could have died. Who knows? He's just literally never seen again. It's wild. So yes, there's ramifications to Ocarina of Time. Link and Zelda remain physically unharmed, or at the very least, alive. This remains true throughout the entire series. Even in Tears of the Kingdom, arguably Princess Zelda's most tragic story, permanent physical harm is not inflicted. Which, by the way, I did find to be part of a problem. I actually wanted to see some more stakes, raised stakes with Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I've got very mixed opinions on Tears of the Kingdom, but this isn't the show for that because this is already going to be long. The point is, while I do agree, his reasoning is wildly off base, so the agreement is more of a monkeys and typewriter situation. I don't necessarily believe The Legend of Zelda needs to strive for a more mature tone. Then why are you making an entire article about killing Link? The main character, mind you. That is bananas. Even though I have a soft spot for Twilight Princess's melancholy, but I think Zelda's potential as a playable protagonist is severely stunted by Link's presence, regardless of his role in the story.
Stop it. Get some help.
And there it is. This isn't because he thinks there'd be some amazing narrative that could be done at the hands of the death of Link. No, he sees Link as a tool. A tool for what? A tool to espouse feminist propaganda. Oh, for Zelda to truly be her own hero, we need to kill off Link. We need to kill the main hero for the last 40 years almost. The wielder of the Triforce of Courage. We can't have no man around. If Zelda is to truly be a strong, independent white woman, then we need to get rid of her chief knight and usual savior. Which, by the way, isn't even the case. You know, we'll get to that in a moment. Point is, here you go. All you know. This is being done for propaganda purposes. This dude doesn't care about Zelda. He cares about an agenda. And because Nintendo is popular, and Zelda is their second most popular IP behind Mario, or third if you want to count Pokemon, but that's not just Nintendo. The point is, top 3 most popular IPs from Nintendo. It's a very easy avenue to use as your source of propaganda because, hey, everyone knows Zelda. Even Echoes of Wisdom, Zelda has to share the spotlight. Guess what? Link shares the spotlight in just about every Zelda game with Zelda. You don't just defeat Ganondorf on your own in Ocarina of Time. Zelda helps you. You don't just defeat Ganondorf on your own in Twilight Princess. Zelda helps you. You don't just defeat Ganondorf on your own in Wind Waker. Zelda helps you. You don't just defeat Ganondorf on your own in Breath of the Wild. Zelda goddamn helps you. You don't even get the Master Sword. Shit. The entire reason Tears of the Kingdom even happens, why Link is even able to succeed, is because Zelda, from thousands of years in the past, helps you. So don't give me this bullshit about, oh, Zelda has to share the spotlight. Link shares the spotlight all the goddamn time with Zelda, because unlike Peach, she's not just a damsel in distress character, she actually has agency. Which, to be fair, Peach does as well in a lot of games. She's got her own games, but that's not the point. Point is, the perception of Zelda isn't even the same as the perception of Peach. Echoes of Wisdom is still primarily Zelda's story, and I'm not saying it's worse off because of Link's role, but it is indicative of how the common confines of the series narrative keep Zelda from being the lone hero. She doesn't need to be. The game is called The Legend of Zelda, and it's because she's the royalty, she's the princess. But this is Link's story, and always has been, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Link is never really the lone hero, because he has help at the end of the games, most often from Zelda. Part of the issue comes down to Echoes of Wisdom featuring the Triforce, known in this era as the Prime Energy. When the Prime Energy splits in Echoes of Wisdom, the series' divine governance ordains the three pieces are inherited by those with matching characteristics. Zelda gets the Triforce of Wisdom, Link the Triforce of Courage, and Null seeks the Triforce of Power. It would seem that with the Triforce present, there must always be a Link figure. Yes, but just so there must also be a Zelda figure. She is the reincarnation of the goddess Hylia. The fuck are you on about if not openly lying or at least telling half-truths to try and spread your bullshit feminist propaganda? Because that's what this is. This is nothing more than an attempt to try and make you, the reader, oh, you so progressive, doughy-eyed reader, to align with him that, you know what? After 40 years of being one of the most successful franchises in video game history, maybe men are the problem. Though there's evidence to suggest Zelda has all three Triforce pieces in Tears of the Kingdom. No, there's not. Actually, that's a wild misread on that. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom show the Triforce doesn't necessarily have to be a contributing factor to the primary conflict, even when Ganon is the main threat. A solution to truly elevate Zelda as the lone protagonist of the game is therefore to remove Link from the equation, and seeing him killed arguably carries the most dramatic weight. No. No. Y'all remember this little game called Sonic 06, where they kill Sonic, and then to bring him back together, you got to swap spit with a human gal. Lot of folks got issues with that timeline. You remember how in Dragon Ball Z they kill off Goku at the end of the Cell Saga and Gohan was going to take over to be the main character and fans fucking rioted, so Akira Toriyama brought Goku back? Yeah, Link is the main character, and killing off Link wouldn't add more dramatic weight. It would piss off the longtime fans in one of the most beloved and long-running video game franchises in the world. I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving Zelda her own game. Again, Echoes of Wisdom is awesome. Princess Peach got her own game relatively recently. She's got a few of her own games, actually. They're all good. But your idea of, oh, we have to build it a female means we must kill the male shows exactly what you think of the modern era, shows exactly what you think of men, shows exactly what you think of masculinity, and this is a disgusting mentality that is continuing to perpetuate. It doesn't matter that Donald Trump got elected. There's still motherfuckers out there that think like this. In fact, it probably had their beliefs reinforced to be even stronger in this regard, that have to sacrifice masculinity because for whatever reason, they feel like women need that elevation. Even if that elevation was already there to begin with, like in the lore of Zelda, where you've got the entire pantheon of the religion based on goddesses. They live in a matriarchal society in The Legend of Zelda, but no, whatever. Ignore all of that nuance, ignore all that philosophy, ignore all that theology, because we want to get rid of the men. Echoes of Wisdom is simply a new spin on what the Zelda series has been doing for a long time. Princess Zelda is rarely the typical damsel in distress, so you even... Holy fuck. Dude even admits that she's rarely the damsel in distress, because she isn't. And yet he is still trying to cap for this bullshit feminist propaganda. Like what? What is even your point at this? My dude, you clearly just don't even understand the story. You only understand the surface level stuff about it. And even then, you can't make a case for your argument because you defeat your purpose within just a few lines of your writing later. She disguises herself as Sheik in Ocarina of Time, leads her pirate crew as Tetra in the Wind Waker, and works to keep Demise in prison throughout Skyward Sword. These examples are not unlike Link's role in Echoes of Wisdom, Bingo Bango Bongo, who even joins the climactic fight against Null in a supportive role a la Zelda and her trusty light arrows, just like how Zelda has been a supporting actor in the fights against Ganondorf in so many other games. Killing Link is the most effective way to ensure Zelda shines as the protagonist. Once again, here it is. They just want Zelda to shine, as if she fucking didn't already. There's a reason she's a playable fighter in Super Smash Bros. And has been since the second game, because Zelda shines on her own. The game series is named after her. You brought up the light arrows and Echoes of Wisdom. Guess what? Those were around 30 goddamn years, or at least 20 goddamn years, before Tears of the Kingdom. Or not Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, my bad. Because Zelda shines as a character. We all love Zelda. Link loves Zelda. What are you goddamn talking about, my dude? I believe that an unutilized plot point of the series is as large as a primary character's death, and the inverse would be equally effective. Zelda dying in a game that stars Link would be heartbreaking. It's happened, and they undo it by the end of the game. But guess what? It doesn't necessarily Twilight Princess is an amazing game. But when you talk to people about their favorite Twilight Princess moments, their top 10, no one says the death of Zelda. No one says when Zelda sacrifices herself so that Midna can live. That's just not one of the talking points that comes up. Character death does not inherently make something good or dark or gritty or, oh, it's so mature now. No. One Piece rarely kills off characters. Now, when it does it to an extreme effect. But it also only does it with side characters. Now, that's a testament to how well written the side characters are in One Piece. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, you don't need character death for a great story. This is like basic writing 101, and this dude fails. It's clear why he became a journalist, because he clearly can't write fiction. He doesn't understand the concept of how certain things are done, and archetypes are done, and storylines are done, as far as narrative goes. This is just, it's insanity to me. This mentality is that if you kill off characters, it automatically means something is deep. No, that's not how that works. It's worth exploring. As the series currently stands, however, Zelda is the most potential benefit is the one to survive. Now that Echoes of Wisdom has finally set the precedent that's long overdue, I agree it's long overdue, but again, Link is the main character. You gotta know your goddamn place. This dude is retarded. Zelda could dramatically enshrine herself as a capable hero in her own right by triumphing against evil in Link's absence. There are other avenues, of course. Link stars in titles like Link's Awakening and Majora's Mask, where Zelda simply isn't present, but killing up the series' traditional lead doesn't just symbolically pass the torch, it also provides an opportunity to give Zelda unexplored emotional depth. And there it is again. You want to do all this for Zelda's benefit. Zelda has emotional depth. We've seen it in multiple other games. Games you probably didn't play, though, because games journalists don't actually fucking play games. You probably read some entries on a Wikipedia, which is why you think the timeline is so convoluted, even though it's so easy to parse through for anyone that's played even a fucking handful of Zelda games. But no, you're a broken bastard of a man. You're retarded. You're a fucking just wilting lotus ready to die and fade away. And when the wind blows you away, I hope your seed doesn't spread, because God knows we do not need any more of you running around. If this is the if this is the apex, the zenith of the intellectual capacity you have to offer the world. Journalist Mike Foot. Actually, you know what? You are a journalist, but the only reason I'm granting you the title of journalist is because it is held in such disregard in the modern era. The word journalist is poison. It is often linked to individuals who are snivelly and sniving and conniving that we can't trust because there's always an agenda at foot. And in that regard, you're absolutely a journalist. Link has done plenty of pioneering in the series, far more than Zelda has. Killing off one of the main two is uncharted territory for the Legend of Zelda, but there's a serious potential in the idea because of how groundbreaking it could be for Princess Zelda as a leading character. And that's the end of that. What utter trash, what utter poison. And you know what? It ain't even about the idea that Link should be killed. That's what piqued my interest in this article, is that, oh, someone's advocating for the death of Link? Interesting. What does that mean? Should there be a new holder of the Triforce of Courage? Should we move beyond Link because, there's a way to expand the story beyond Hyrule? What's the angle here? No. Nope, it's because Girl Boss Zelda awesome. Like, he literally just spent this entire article trying to academically explain why Girl Boss Zelda would be great. When A, he failed at that completely. B, that's not what anybody wants. To an extent, again, Echoes of Wisdom, cool. A lot of us have actually wanted a Zelda-led Zelda game for a long time. But it's not what anyone wants to be the main method of the game going forward. Yeah, this was a complete and utter trite dribble. And frankly, this just goes to show that while we do see things like, quote-unquote wokeness falling off on the back foot, there is still elements of it that are alive and well, and that are just trying to be the last gasping breath, the last bastion of it, is fighting their goddamned hardest to maintain relevance. And we have to just absolutely destroy shit like this, because you know what? There's never been a bad Zelda game. Let me rephrase that. There's never been a bad mainline Zelda game. And I don't think I don't think, at least, hopefully, pray to God, there won't ever be one, because Nintendo knows what they're doing. But as long as there are these numbskulls like this, working on articles like this, when we see Nintendo put out hiring pages, and they are actively asking for individuals that are familiar with DEI and ESG, yes, that's a thing that happened a year ago, I reported on it, then it makes you wonder how much Nintendo is listening to these yahoos. How much do motherfuckers like this actually have a voice when it comes to the way Nintendo just starts planning out their future games? I mean, at one point we saw Linkle, what was effectively a fan fiction character, a female version of Link, get introduced into a game. Now, it was a non-canon spin-off side game, so it doesn't matter all that much, but it does go to show Nintendo is listening to these fools when they say, we want female Link, or we want Zelda to be the main character. And in sporadic instances, that's fine. But this cannot be the main mentality going forward, especially for such wrong reasons as virtue signaling girl boss bullshit to elevate Zelda, which goes to fundamentally show that they don't understand the character of Zelda, because Zelda has always been amazing. She's always been a strong female character. She's what a strong female character should be, and this is superficial bullshit that goes to show that even they don't know what makes an actual strong female character beyond surface level stuff. But those are my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. Not always ranting about random-ass video game articles I found, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, say hi to Hondo, and of course, get involved with over 180 other vital idols. It is a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further. Because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise. You are talkative tonight.